Alright, what is up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about why we bought Pundi X, or why did we go pretty hard into Pundi X back in August, October last year. So this is just my thought process. I think it's good to share. And then from then going forward, when you guys make an assessment whether you want to invest in a particular ICO or a project, it would be good to kind of follow this kind of steps before putting your money in. So this is not financial advice, it's just our personal opinion and why we invested into Pundi X back then when we did. So let's just look into the price action first before we go into the fundamental details. So as of now, Pundi X is at 658 sats in terms of Ethereum, and that was due to the fact that they're going to be buying up to 0.03 cents to 0.0036 cents based on their reserve fund, right? So this partnership reserve fund is going to be used for marketing, partnerships, and of course going forward, they're going to be looking at building up their whole POS network, right, or their POS infrastructure. They are also shipping out, I think, anywhere from 20 to 40,000 units in the next in the next quarter or so, and I think that's a very exciting thing because we need to have all the POS systems in various countries as much as possible, and also they need to have the right liquidity providers. So when we kind of picked Pundi X at the time, I think it's also good for the fact that they have experience. So let me just share with you an article that we read back then, and this is basically Pundi, which is the parent company of Pundi X. So Pundi means wallet, okay, in Bahasa Indonesia, and the good thing about it is that they have already a very strong network back in Indonesia. Now you must be thinking, okay, so it's only it's a very country specific thing. So let me again share with you like the potential. Okay, so in Singapore we have our own equivalent, which is the Nets payment system. Okay, so the Nets payment system is our own form of a POS where if you want to pay, basically like you going to a merchant, right, and then you are paying with your debit card or your Nets card, right? It's very, very simple, and this is something that we could relate to. We understood it. Now, why did we even want to invest in a crypto related one? Because we felt that, wow, if with all these cryptos that are available, say for example, I'm a quantum guy, I want to spend my money to buy a drink with quantum, or I want to buy some music with quantum, okay? And the merchant accepts various types of cryptocurrencies, but the merchant doesn't want to handle the volatility. The Pundi X POS system linking to an exchange will deal with all that. So they will never have to really handle the volatility of a particular cryptocurrency. All they have to do is, I accept it as a form of payment, but in the end of the day, my revenue as a merchant is not affected because everything is handled in the back end of that POS system. And when we saw it, we were like, okay, it's very straightforward, very easy. We all will have to use that Pundi X card, which is a black card, and top it up and use it. It's straightforward, simple, it's nothing rocket science. But when we understood how simple it was and the whole MVP, especially when they already created the POS system at that time, we're talking about August last year, guys, okay? This was when the Telegram chat was only like less than 300 people, right? Now the Telegram chat is like 16,000 people, and every month we are getting the 7.3% airdrop, and it continues to grow. Okay, I think price is one thing, but having you understand the whole potential and infrastructure is very important. So right now, they have not officially turned on their POS systems yet for actual revenue generation. Now this is the exciting part, so I hope that you guys listen. So let me just shift back to the Pundi X. Okay, so the Pundi X. So think of it this way: the more POS systems that are out there in the world, okay, and the more merchants that are adopting the POS system, that's when the revenue starts to come in. And as transactions are going back and forth, on the POS system, you're going to have the Pundi X tokens being burnt and used up as well, because whenever transactions go through on a network, it definitely costs money in that sense. But it's no cost to us as per se, but there is a utilization of the token. So there is a utility as well. So that is why when they did the split, right, it was a little bit messy, I must say. There were people who didn't really like the fact that why are you splitting it up? You know, it was like, wow, from one Pundi X token, you become 1000 NPXS. But when you're a payment system, right, you kind of need more tokens and you want to have more distribution. So then I thought to myself, okay, fine, that makes a lot of sense. And initially the market didn't like it. We also had the whole FUD occur, and it really took out quite a bit of the market cap. In fact, when we did the ICO, when we participated in ICO, we did not make any money, right? But we saw the long-term value. And what we enjoyed the most was to really be invested in this particular project, and we saw it grow, like literally when it was just a seed. And that's when you know, we saw the full swing. And right now you're having big projects like quantum matching with Pundi X. Also, once Pundi X sorts out its listing issues, right? Because right now it's only listed on Coinbean, which isn't the kind of the best exchange. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, thinking like, oh shit, how come it's not listed on Huobi or Binance or whatnot? But think of it this way: if they focus on the infrastructure first, that means they focus on the product, which of course they have a strong team, which is of course they have, and they finally have the database of users, okay, like merchants, customers, and investors all together. Do you think that no exchange wants them? It's just a matter of time. So that's how we saw it, how CG saw it, because we rather not invest in hype coins or vaporware. Like vaporware, you know, writing white paper and talking about all the codes and whatnot, sure, this is the space. But at the end of the day, what do we really need? We need to be able to use our currency. If you're looking at a currency as any kind of currency, it needs to be utilized, it needs to be spent, it needs to be able to be transferred to buy stuff, right? So in this case, Pundi X business model really suits that use case. And when it starts turning on the whole revenue model, that's when you know that the whole system will crank in, and you're going to see that money come in, as in money for the business. There's real revenue coming in from the business, and that's where I get excited. So you must be thinking, so Ryan, long story short, do I buy it now? Well, I'm not asking you to like buy it now, but I'm asking you to look at it from that fundamental perspective, where once this POS system is utilized across various countries or various continents, okay, where for example that particular country's currency isn't like that welcome, for example, and you have lots of other countries that are open and using cryptocurrencies, for example, and this is the part where you will see the whole adoption phase take place, real adoption, right? Because it's just like when you are interested in nodes, you're interested in being a miner, or you're interested in being a staker, right? Where you stake your coins. It's the same thing. A network needs support from the community. The network also needs people who are going to be using their token effectively. And that's how we saw it. It's like a very simple way of thinking. Like it wasn't like wow, we knew the team or whatever. We didn't even know the team. And when we interviewed Zach, we didn't know Zach. We just saw the business model. We knew that, oh, okay, they had Pundi, their experience. They had 500 merchants already who were using the Pundi system at that time. So meaning that these guys are not newbies. They knew how to do business before they stepped into this space. They are not trying whether or not it works. They know and they have a business model that works in the traditional space. Now, how do they bring this into the blockchain space? And with the blockchain space, being that there are so many different types of cryptocurrencies, it's just a matter of, okay, do you want to partner up with me? And that's what they've been doing. So if you notice, Pundi X has quite a number of partnerships. They have NEM, which is of course Lon Wong. Lon Wong has moved on to another project as of now. Then we have Quantum, which is founded by Patrick Dye, Jordan Earls, and Neil Mahi. They're also partnering as well. And I think there's going to be many others. Of course, you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin as well. You're going to see quite a number of cryptocurrencies being adopted on this POS system. So we are just very fundamental investors, right? We look at things from that kind of point of view and we put our money in. And that's why we went really big, guys. We went really big. And yeah, it took us some time for things to happen. And you must be thinking, is it too late for me? No, it's not too late. Because when you look at things from a long-term perspective, in fact, this cryptocurrency has a long way to go. Okay, I'm not going to give you a price prediction of $1 or $10. No, okay, I'm just giving you the full uncensored way of how we thought in terms of fundamentals before we entered, because this is nothing to do with technical analysis. This is purely how we dissected the company and we looked at the team, the individuals, the real catalysts to make this business a success. And I must say, Danny Lim and the combination of Danny Lim, Indra, Zach, these powerhouses running the team strong. I have nothing to say, guys. I'm very impressed. I mean, I run a business myself. It's really tiring to run a business, but for the fact that the way they executed their business is just phenomenal. So kudos, lots of respect to the Pundi X team. We'll be seeing them on the 19th because they are organizing a Pundi X Quantum Meetup. That's at Robinson, so I'll be putting the link below. If you are in Singapore and you want to kind of come down, what is the theme of that meetup, by the way, is that theme of that meetup is basically how to help businesses, how to help businesses adopt blockchain, right? So how are businesses going to put their various aspects of their existing business model onto the blockchain, right? And whether or not it's feasible for them. So these are the questions and moderations that we're going to be covering. Crypto Grinders is going to cover the event. At the same time, we're also going to be the moderators for the event. So if you're interested, you want to find out more about Pundi X, or you want to find out more about Quantum or Nergo, they're all going to be there. So looking forward to seeing you guys. And also, it's great if you put your money into Pundi X. Enjoy the ride. At the same time, also you're going to see lots of improvements, and you're definitely going to see the whole business model start to take place, because they are the first. They are one of the most successful ICOs that came out of Indonesia. They are the pride and joy of their country, guys. Okay, whether you like it or not, they are the pride and joy of their country, and they are very well recognized in their country, and they're going to be moving out regionally, and that is something that we saw from the very beginning. And I think it's something that a lot of people are still wondering, what's that all about? So before you put your money into something, it's always good to kind of understand it from that point of view. And also, if you want to know more about how the whole model works, check out our interview in our because we interviewed Pundi X back then, and everything is still relevant. There are further developments, but it's always good to understand the fundamental aspects. So you can catch that interview. It was an hour. Yeah, spend the time to watch all this kind of stuff, guys, because it is educational and it is good. Because if you're going to be putting money into something, right, especially investing and participating in the ICOs, or just investing into cryptocurrencies in general, it's always important to make sure that you know and be well informed when you put in your money. All right. So without further ado, thanks so much for watching, guys, and see you in the next stream.